Sh00ts and the No More Black Tears podcast.
It's Mr. DJ Rose. We back here for another week of No More Black Tears. You know what I'm saying? We'll be sipping on today.
Well, we got a throwback, man. We sipping on that Crown Apple today with a little bit of that splash of Sprite.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sipping good. You know what I'm saying? It's been a good week, man, for me, man. How about you?
Man, it's been a great week, man. But in your words, it all happened in a week.
Yes, sir.
So this week in sports, earlier this week, for those who been keeping with the WNBA NBA Finals, the Aces went back to back. The first team, and I want to say 10 years to go back to back. So, Rose, man, what you think about the Aces going back to back and A'ja Wilson being named Finals MVP?
Good for her. You know what I'm saying? I tried to watch some of it. The WNBA, man, it's a horrible league, man. They need to play in some bikinis or something, man, because, man, it's horrible, man. It's horrible to watch. I hate to say that, man, but it is. It's horrible to watch. I think they either need to shrink the amount of teams that's in the league or something and just have all super teams or something, but...
They shrink. They're talking about expansion.
I don't know, man. It's horrible to watch, man. I tried, but it's horrible, man. But, man, shout out to the Las Vegas Aces, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of y'all, and you know what I'm saying? Wilson, you did your thing, but, yeah, man. Y'all need to pick something else to do with y'all time.
So I actually ended up watching this the fourth quarter of this game. It was a back and forth game. It was in New York. The Liberty was up for most of the game. The Aces stormed back. They was missing two of their starters. A'ja Wilson hit a nice turnaround jumper to get them a 4-point lead. Then the Liberty came down, hit a three, and then the Aces basically made some free throws, and they had a great defensive stop. A'ja Wilson, like I said, MVP. She averaged 22 points and 14 rebounds with like 2 blocks. Dominant performance. The 2 takeaways I have from this is she should have won league MVP. There's no way that you only average 4 points more than me, Rose. And I win Defensive Player of the Year. And it's known that you were terrible Defensive Player of the Year. The second takeaway is, I know why that hoe won MVP. And I've been saying this to everyone who listens. It ain't just because she's white. Her being white does help now. The second thing is, I'm just going to keep it 100, man. The problems with WNBA, they be promoting all that gay shit. The best players that they be want to promote, Rose, be all the women that like other women. When you got women like A'ja Wilson, and for those who watch WNBA for a long time, like C's wing here, Tina Charles, and I was talking to my brother TTK. We was talking about Lisa Leslie and Sh00ts, and they was like dominant women in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they was all heterosexual. And then you got someone like Maya Moore. Why is it that all the heterosexual women, they don't get the same love as all these women is gay? So, you know, hey, shout out to the Aces, man, and shout out to strong black women that actually like black men, you know, for doing their thing. But speaking of black men, boy, man, for those who like college basketball and high school basketball, Mikey Williams was a highly talented player out of high school. Got recruited to Memphis, was supposed to be a one-and-done player and one of the next NBA stars. He's only 19 years old now. But for those who don't know, he basically went outside his house, fired his pistol into a car full of people 5 to 6 times. Nobody was harmed, but he's been charged with multiple counts and is facing 20 to 25 years in prison. I was watching Mace and Cameron podcast, and they said he had posted a pic of him on trial in a suit, and he had quoting some Rollo lyrics, and it was, the judge and the DA stay in my head, got me fucked up. I'm going to do something. And that nigga Mace said that nigga going to jail.
He going to jail.
Rose, man, what you got to say about Mikey Williams?
It's same thing like what Michael Irvin said about his son. Like, you grew up in a gated community. Like, son, you did not grow up like that. The same with Mikey Williams. He he put it like this. He played ball with LeBron James' son. They went to the same school. If you going to school with LeBron James' son, obviously your parents got some paper. So it's like you ain't like that. So why are you going outside your house and shooting the gun at people? And you said because they were threatening you or whatnot, but they didn't do anything to you. They didn't get out the car. That was just a dumb move. Like you could chalk it up for him being young and dumb, but when you got that much potential and that much ahead of you, there's no much. It ain't no about being young no more. You know what I'm saying? Like you obviously was raised right, so like you were just dumb. It ain't about being young. You were just dumb, and and you should have known better. And I know your parents raised you better than that. And you're probably going to get off. You're probably going to be able to go play basketball overseas, but I don't know about the NBA route anymore because they go try to look at you like Ja Morant. But we'll see. I never seen you play, but they say you were good. But they say a lot of people are good. You know what I'm saying? Until they reach the upper echelons of the sport. But they watering down the league, so you'll probably have a place there. So that's what I got on it.
Yeah, if he does not go to prison, he will make the league because from people who actually saw him play in high school, he was better than Bronny. It wasn't even close. Like he ate that nigga lunch apparently. But I want to focus on what you talked about. Man, you grew up in a gated community. You grew up with a two-parent household. This just shows do not let money raise your kids. Like to all those people that's chasing the bag right now and trying to make sure them and their wives or them and their husbands have all this money, do not let money raise your kids. If you got to work a job where you cannot spend time with your kids or you always on vacation or something and not spending time with your kids, that's the issue. Because just because he grew up in a two-parent household, that does not mean he was acting his kid's life. Because you just said he played ball with or against Bronny. Well, one thing we know about LeBron, even though he's in the NBA, he's a family man. He spends time with his kids. So, like at some point in time, you gotta have an active role in your kids' lives. And I know Rose agree with that because I see you do that all the time. You gotta be active with them motherfuckers and make sure they understand, hey, bro, you can't be doing dumb shit that's gonna jeopardize your future because this is a player that had potential to go top 10 in the NBA, change his life, set up, get generational wealth, and there's a potential of, yeah, I know you saying he might play ball overseas, but there's the real potential of, nigga, you could do at least 10 years in prison, bro. Like, fuck the 20 that you slaved to. Even if he does 5 years in prison, him doing 5 years in prison at 19 years old and the prime of his life, your NBA career over with, bro. So
yeah, it would be, but he not going to prison.
So that shit's crazy, man.
He got lucky. He can't aim.
Hey man, speaking about people that can aim, though, man, we got some real shooters that we finna talk about, man. The start of the NBA season is this Tuesday. We just finished up one of our fantasy basketball drafts. Hey, Rose, the opening night is the opening night. So you can talk about it if you want, but what is your outlook for this NBA season overall?
The same thing as it was last year. I see the Nuggets and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? The least it's going to be the least. Maybe, but they got a good player that went to the least. You know what I'm saying? Damian Lillard, he went to the least. So they got a chance to do something. It would be, it would be, it would be, it would be. I guess what they say, box office, if it was Lakers in Milwaukee.
That would be amazing.
But I don't know if the powers that be is gonna let that happen. But that would be amazing to see. And then LeBron win the championship and then sell off into the sunset. That would be a storybook ending. But or if not that, Dame win the championship and they beat LeBron. I wouldn't mind that either.
That would be amazing.
And that would still be a storybook ending for LeBron because he's known for losing in the finals. So that's what I got. But as far as anything else goes, man, The best players is still Jokic. They still got the best team, I think, but they're beatable. But they got the best team, and they got the best player right now. Giannis needs to show up and prove that I'm that man. Like Mark Jackson used to say. And how did Mark Jackson and Van Gundy and all them boys lose their job? Who like it's gonna be so boring
Mark
listening
Jackson
to.
got fired too?
Yes, Mark Jackson and Van Gundy, they're not calling games no more.
Oh, they fucked up.
Yeah, they're not calling games no more. So I was like, huh. But yeah, but like Mark just said, Mama, who's that man? That's what Giannis need to be this year. He need,
Yep.
Mama, who's that man? And Mama gonna say, that's Giannis.
Yeah, man. Man, I'm looking forward to the NBA season. Like you just said, the West, you got the Lakers, you got the Suns. You can even count the Warriors out. You got the Nuggets. The Grizzlies always there. Ant-Man and the T-Wolves, they come in. OKC, they got Chet coming back. They're going to be interesting. From a player perspective, Scoot Henderson's in the league. I saw some of his highlights from the G League. He got ups. That boy can bounce. He got bounce with an ounce. You know, you got Zion's coming back for the Pelicans. You got Vic. I've been seeing his highlights in the preseasons. Chet, is he going to be what he was supposed to be? Because remember, he didn't play last year. So the West is loaded with players. It's going to be exciting to watch the West. But then you go to the East. Man, what can Trae Young and my Hawks do? Like, can y'all actually show me something this year? Can y'all make a trade? Like, Trae, can you take that next step, man?
No.
Because I just was capping for you when we did the player thing. But, man, we got to really hone in on the big thing. Damian Lillard went to the Bucks and made a splash. And the Boston Celtics pick up Porzingis and Drew Holiday in the offseason. Let's just keep it real. If you're watching the East, you just waiting for the East Conference Finals. Because if we don't get Boston and Milwaukee for a 6 or 7 game series in the East Conference Finals, then the whole East has failed. That's all we want to see. Is for 6 to 7 games. We want to see Boston and Milwaukee. Because in the West, I know you said Lakers and Nuggets, but let's keep it real. It's a couple matchups that we would not mind seeing in the West Conference Finals. If it was the Suns and Warriors, if it was the Lakers and Warriors again, the Lakers and Suns, the Nuggets and Warriors, the Nuggets and like it's a couple matches to be interesting. It's only one we want to see. And when we get to the finals, I want to see Milwaukee, Giannis, and Dame. And like you said, bro, I want to see them go up against only 3 teams. The Lakers, because I want to see LeBron, and I want to see LeBron basically hand the crown to Giannis. The Nuggets, because I want to see Jokic and Giannis fight for the crown as who's the best player in the game right now. And then the last one is, bruh, a rematch of the finals a couple years ago, but better teams. KD with the Suns against Giannis and the Bucks. I want to see them go at it. So, hey man, the NBA season is going to be explosive. And before I go, bruh, the way the teams are set up now is not what the team's going to look like. Because there's been all these rumors for people saying there's going to be trades that's going to happen at the trade deadline, like always. So anything can happen this NBA season. So, hey man, shout out to those who are NBA lovers. Season start this Tuesday. I can't wait for it to start. But for those who's watching Thursday Night Football, if you saw the Jags and Saints play, it went from a very boring game at 24-9 to an exciting finish at 31-24. Did you catch the game, Rose?
No, I actually watched a better game than that one. It was Marshall and UNB. Yeah, the Sun Belt Conference. I watched that game and it was pretty good. But I saw that the Saints had a chance to tie it up, but Buddy missed a wide open catch and
straight disgusting.
So, and they say I haven't watched Carr play all season, but they say he trash. Kamara, you know what I'm saying? He played his heart out, but you know what I'm saying? Jaguars, they're not going to throw Calvin Ridley the ball. They might as well trade him. Like, why'd y'all trade for that man if y'all not going to give him the ball?
It's so crazy because I was talking to MGH and we was talking about fantasy, Christian Kirk is the man on that team.
That's because he's Trevor Lawrence's friend.
And that's the crazy part, because for those who actually watch football, Calvin Ridley is way better than Christian Kirk.
Yeah. And so it's like, if you're not gonna give Calvin Ridley the ball, you're not even trying to throw it to him. Like, what's the point of him having him on your team? Like, either cut him or let him go to somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Trade him.
You know what you trade for Calvin Ridley? The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Pat Mahomes gonna make sure that nigga get the ball.
Yeah.
But hey, man, Thursday night football. Like I said, I was watching the first half. It was boring. Trevor Lawrence was looking good. The Jags defense, I ain't gonna lie, the Jags defense looks really, really good this season. But then in that second half, the Saints defense turned it up. Derek Carr started hitting those receivers. And like you said, he's been playing like ass this season so far. I actually thought the Saints were going to be better than what they was, because they got good offensive pieces. They got a straight defense. And Derek Carr, when he was with Oakland, you could really book Derek Carr in for 27 touchdowns a season and over 4,000 yards. I don't know why he's not looking good with the Saints, but he's not. I saw that last drive, bro. They had a chance to tie the game. On third down, Derek Carr threw a beautiful pass to the backup tight end, hit him right in the fucking hands. And I don't know what the fuck happened. Hit him both hands, and he just dropped it. And then on fourth down, he tried to throw the ball to Chris Olave one-on-one, and it had no chance, bro. It had no chance. The Jags are looking like they're going to be a real contender. They're going to win their division probably easily. And they're probably going to get a top 3 seed because, you know, when you win your division, that automatically puts you as a top 4 seed. And they're probably going to win enough games to finish top 3. So, you know, hey, we'll see what the Jags do the rest of the season. As far as the Saints, hey, they could afford to lose this game because the NFC South is garbage. But speaking as far as the rest of the season and the rest of this week 7, man, the season's starting to heat up, Rose. And some of the games that I got my eye on, the Lions and Ravens, because both, like, the Ravens need this game.
Yeah, the Ravens, but they're going to lose, though.
They need this game because now Joe Burrow is starting to look good again, and the Bengals are starting to win. Mm-hmm. And the Lions look great. Like, I'm not going to lie. I didn't think they was going to be all that because I had the Bears win the division. And I'm embarrassed because the Lions look like the class of the division. No one looked close. And I remember you had the Packers winning. So nobody at this table had the Lions being this good as they are right now. Then the next game is Chargers-Chiefs, because ever since Justin Herbert and Pat Mahomes have been the quarterbacks of those teams, if you've been watching those games, Rose, those games are always good. Yeah, they always come down to the fourth quarter. It always comes down to Pat Mahomes making a play and Justin Herbert making a mistake. I want to say, was it last year, Justin Herbert actually won the game on a back shoulder throw to Mike Williams or whatever on a fourth down play. I think it was fourth or third down. No, it was third down because they had a chance to get a field goal. But the point is, it always comes down to the quarterbacks making a play. And when you watch the NFL, that's all you want, bro. You just want the quarterbacks to make a play at the end of the game. But the game of the day to me, Eagles-Dolphins, bro.
Yeah, that's going to be the game.
You got a top defense going against one of the top offenses. You got Tyreek Hill, one of the best offensive players in the game, if not the best offensive player in the game, going up against that Eagles secondary that's horrible, but that front is good. I don't want to see, because the Eagles are a good team. They're a Super Bowl contender team. Are they going to do what you and me always say, Rose? Are y'all going to double Tyreek Hill and let them other niggas beat y'all? Or are you going to let this little nigga get 170 yards and 2 touchdowns? So, Eagles, if y'all truly are a Super Bowl team, you need to find a way to stop that nigga. In the words of that coach from Waterboy, I don't care if you got to stab that boy. Y'all need to stop that nigga. Because if not, Dolphins going to blow y'all off the field. Rose?
Either way, Dolphins going to win that game. That's the only game I'm looking forward to seeing. It's the Sunday night football game, too. But that's the only game that's the only game. Like, and it's not like you said some nice things about defense and offense and this and this and that. But it's only one thing about that game. It's only one thing.
Is Tyreek Hill gonna get off?
No.
Jalen Hurts or Tua?
Jalen Hurts versus Tua.
They're both the Alabama quarterbacks.
That's the only thing about the game.
I left that for you.
That's the only thing about the game. That's the only thing because they've been frenemies and had this rival going on since college. So it's like
He even got drafted the same year.
Who's going to show up? Who's going to be the man? Who's going to be the man? Who's going to have the better number?
Jalen. I think you got the Dolphins. I got the Jalen. I mean, hey, bro, if you want, we can do this like Skip and Shannon should do. We can do a friendly wager on the game.
And I don't drink Dial Mountain Dew, man. That's
we for them suckers. We can do a bottle.
No, we could do it. We could do some light beer. You want to do a case of Bud Light?
Yeah,
I got a case of Bud Light.
A 6-pack of Modelo's.
Yeah, we could put a case of beer on it. Yeah, but yeah, Dolphins gonna win that game easily. The Eagles haven't looked like the Eagles of old. I don't know what's going on with them. I guess it's that Super Bowl rust or that Super Bowl hangover. But even Jalen hadn't even looked like Jalen. Like I watched the end of that last game last week. I'm like, he threw the ball straight to the guy. Like I thought you supposed to be getting better.
Yeah, he on all the fantasy teams. That was horrible.
Yeah, so, but it is what it is, man. It's about that time.
So I'm assuming that you ain't got no tears for that game. And speaking of tears, man, moving on to TNT.
Yeah, tears or no tears. I mean, it's dynamite. Boom.
So, for those who live in the Atlanta area, I know about scammers, man. So DJ Envy has got caught in the news of Breakfast Club for a real estate scam. Apparently, one of his business associates was doing real estate with him, and they found out that he was scamming people, stealing people money, and not really having properties set up. And on top of that, Joe Budden was on his podcast and said, yeah, man, that man hit me up. And I was like, bro, we really don't fuck with each other like that. And as I'm listening to the conversation, I'm like, bro, this shit sound like a scam. And he tried to basically tell him, like, man, yeah, nigga, what you getting yourself into is a scam. And then DJ Envy had a video of basically saying, yeah, man, I called on my Desert Storm team, and yeah, Joe Budden said it was a scam, but I'm trying to help us make money. So, Rose, your homeboy told you it was a scam, and then you told the world that your homeboy told you it was a scam, and then we find out a year or so later it's a scam, and then you just showed me Funk Flex called this man out his name and called him a scammer and all kind of other fucked up shit. Do you got tears or no tears for DJ Envy or anybody in this situation?
No, I ain't got no tears for DJ Envy because, like we said, Juice Man said 706 a couple of podcasts. DJ Envy, you a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And now it shows. You know what I'm saying? Now it shows. Now everybody know you a hoe.
You a hoe, and it shows.
So like, hey man, I ain't got no tears for him. Like all you did was boast about how you do this, and you talking about all these real estate deals you doing, and you have videos, and you doing like everybody else on Instagram and TikTok. Or I got these classes and all this other stuff. Like if you trying to help somebody, why you charge people for classes? You talking about, I didn't charge nobody, but your business partner was. So obviously you was too. And then before all this happened, I seen a video of this dude that had like a tax business, and DJ Envy came in and put his name on it and pretty much took his business and was supposed to promote it, but he never did it. So it's like you didn't do what you were supposed to do, and now everything's coming to light, ho. You know what I'm saying? It's time for Teasy to go now, ho.
Yeah, man. It's one of two things. Either you want to believe DJ Envy was that stupid, and if you listen to Breakfast Club, he doesn't sound like a stupid individual. Either he was that stupid and did not know what was going on, or this nigga is a scammer and was doing some illegal shit. And let's keep it real. Most of them niggas who got money and who maintain their money do some illegal shit to get their money and maintain it. So I'm just going to be real, man. I feel like DJ Envy was scamming. I ain't got no tears for him. Like, whatever's supposed to happen needs to happen to his ass, because you was stealing people money and people was investing in you, because DJ Envy got a name. Like, if you a fan of his or a fan of the Breakfast Club, you thinking this is on the up and up, this is legit. You out here investing your money, you taking these classes, you trying to, make money, because especially as black people, we always, be trying to figure out, like, hey man, I'm tired of punching this 9 to 5 clock. I need to have other sources of income in 2023. And here you are trying to do that from a nigga that be saying on his own platform, black people need to have other sources of income, right, Rose? And you trying to, learn from this nigga, and you find that this nigga scamming. So I wish we could play the little DJ Funk Flex little video, because I thought he said that shit perfectly, bro. Call that nigga all kind of bitches and punks and scams and all that different stuff. Man, speaking of people that's in jail though, well, he's going to jail, but it's someone that's in jail. There was this man who apparently he's on TikTok. He shows himself betting on games and prop bets and winning some of them and getting money. His bond was set at $10,000. He hit a parlay a couple weeks ago for $13,000 and bonded out of jail. And now there's rumors circulating that he's probably going to do his TikTok page full time and do the gambling thing full time. Rose, man, the American way, man. What you got to say?
I ain't got no tears for him. I want what you was in jail for, and your bond was $10,000. You a scammer too. I ain't got no tears for you. You got lucky one time. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you got lucky, but you ain't that lucky because you got to be dumb because you got caught. You was in jail. So jail for a reason. You was a criminal. I ain't got no tears for him. How about you?
Yeah, I ain't got no tears for him. I will say this, man. I wish I would have been following his TikTok page so that little $13,000 bill he hit, I could have hit that shit, because think about it. He hit $13,000, but he had to spend $10,000 to get out. Mm-hmm. If I would have hit $13,000, that shit would have just been in my pocket.
Yeah. So, but it's always about the amount. I don't remember seeing the amount that he put down. Do you remember seeing what the amount was?
I don't know what the amount was, but depending on the bets and the probabilities, I know they talk about, like, especially when you do like season-long bets, you can put $5 on the Hawks to win the championship.
But that's a season-long bet.
And they'll pay out $1 million.
Yeah, but what he did was
it was a weekend.
A weekend bet.
He hit like 5 games or something like that.
Yeah.
And when you hit them 5 or 6 games, if you hit all of them, like $5 can turn into $2,000.
Yeah.
So. And I wish I would have saw that little parlay he had, man, because, hey, man, we could have made some bread, man.
No, we couldn't, because we live in Georgia and we can't play parlays here.
Hey, for those listening, know the rules of your state when it comes to gambling. So, there was a woman on social media this week, and she pretty much told the whole world that she was on a date, a nigga pulled out a credit card. And if you pull out a credit card for a date for her, you still owe her a date, because all the credit card is you paying the government back to take me on a date.
Yeah, she's slow.
So I feel like you still owe me a date. Rose, let me tell you, man, I got tears because this just shows the mindset of the women in 2023. Oh, you so stupid that you don't understand that the credit card is technically mine. Like, I'm still paying. That's me. Like that. Like it does not matter.
Ain't no government about it.
If I use my credit card, my cash, or my debit card, that is my money that I am using. Now, maybe she used to all these scammers who have 10 credit cards and different people's names and just be using credit cards. Because that was a big popular scam back in the day. But no. If you fucking with a real nigga who got credit cards, me and MGH and C was talking about this. Most people who have real money, to be honest, and a lot of them people that you say is high value men and billionaires, to be honest, that's all they use. They pay for everything in credit. They don't be just pulling out cash. Like, nah, brother, that nigga who wear that suit and tie, he pulled a credit card out because he literally pays it back because it makes more money for him. It's just stupid, the mindset of some of these people, man. So I got tears for the stupidity that came out of her mouth.
Yeah, I ain't got no tears for this hoe, because, like, this hoe's slow. Like, the reason why a lot of people use credit cards, because some credit cards give you cash back. So if you use most people use that. They'll spend their credit card, spend it on their whole monthly expenses, and then pay that off when they get their check at the end of the month or every 2 weeks or whatever they do, and then get that cash back and then put that up and be like savings, or they get points for it. It's all kind of stuff you can do with the credit cards. It's all kind of schemes you can do, and that's not scamming. That's just schemes that you can do. It's called financial management. You know what I'm saying?
The shit the white people be knowing about.
Yeah. So for you to be that slow to think a credit card is for the government, no, ho, that's a bank. like like you that slow, like that you don't know that, like yeah, man, I ain't got no tears for this hoe, man. She and when I seen that, I was like, man, I had to post that on the page because I was like, and then Instagram said, you sure you want to post this because that word gets people flagged, so I had to change the letters. You know what I'm saying? I had to put, you know what I'm saying? I should have put a 304, but she said she wasn't paid, so she didn't deserve that. So man, no tears for this hoe.
Man, speaking of another hoe, so this mother, and this is the all alleged, well, at least this first part. She got into an argument with another woman who works at a beauty salon. Apparently, the argument was over a man. The next day, and this part actually happened, she drove to the beauty salon with her 19-year-old, her 21-year-old daughters, told them to go in there and beat the bitch ass. They proceeded to beat the bitch ass. At some point in time, the woman grabbed her gun, shot both the 19 and 21-year-old women, killing them. Went ahead, went down to the precinct like you do when you shoot someone legally, and did not get arrested and came back home. The mother, apparently, from the last I read, is on the run and she's in hiding right now. And the beauty salon owner and the woman who shot, they're pretty much, they have closed the shop down because apparently that mom is the minister on that community, and apparently she has ties with people that can do some harm, and they're afraid of retaliation, man. Sick, Rose, man. More black and black violence. What you got to say?
Yeah, it wasn't a beauty salon. It was a hair store. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just so dumb. Like, so you bring your kids up there to fight the woman, and then they get killed, and then you run like the coward you are. Man, that's just sick, man. I don't understand it, and I think it's just ludicrous. You know, like Vertiz is one of his favorite artists, man. It's ludicrous, but I don't understand. Like she killed them, yeah, but and she didn't have to do that, but she was in her right to do that. But I just think it's sad that two young ladies, they lost their life over some ghetto nonsense. You know what I'm saying? I could go all. I don't even want to talk about it no more, man.
Yeah, man, I ain't got no tears, man, because two people. Let me tell you, this is how I feel about when it comes to guns. If it's one on one, if you and me get in a fight one on one, and you beat my ass, and I put my gun out and shoot you, I ain't gonna lie, you a bitch ass nigga. But if
What is you, the police?
you bitch ass nigga. But if it's two of
You
y'all,
heard that, Camden County?
hey man. But if it's two of y'all or three of y'all, and y'all jumping me, and now it's to the point where I feel like y'all might kill me. Yes, nigga. If I got a gun, I'm pulling it out, and to be honest, I'm not even aiming. I'm just spraying. I'm just spraying. I'm just trying to get up out of there, man. Because I'm on the ground getting stumped out probably. I'm looking up every time I see some light. I see a fist in my eye. No, I ain't got time for none of that shit. So I'm just pulling my gun out and I'm just spraying. This is just sad because it's a 19-year-old, 21-year-old woman. Yes, they should have known better, but they still are under the influence of their mother, who's probably in her late 30s, 40s, maybe 50s. So she definitely should have known better. And this is the problem. When you have these fucked up women raising kids, and especially women that are raising women to be just like them. So I'm not even gonna lie, bro. People ain't gonna like this. It might be a good thing her daughters got killed. Because she might have been raising her daughters just to be like her. And we might have been seeing like little mini me's because the fact that you got both your daughters to ride with you, for them to jump a woman that's probably your age or a little bit younger than you over a man, Man, that's some straight stupid ass shit, man. But we're gonna move on to the last TNT. So there was a podcast and a woman was talking about the difference between friendships of men and women. And she said the problem with male friendships is men will have friendships with guys that they've known since they was 5 years old out of loyalty, even though that man can't do nothing for them. And they'll be like, but he's my homeboy. I know him since five, man. He down, da da da. But that motherfucker's still in the same position and can't loan them money for a car with him. And then a man reviewed it and said, but that's the difference between men and women. Like, I don't need my homeboy over here to be able to give me business advice because I got a homeboy for that. I don't need this homeboy to come with me when I need to go to a fight because I got a homeboy for that. Like, I just need to know that he down and that he really my friend. So I'm gonna start this off, Rose. Me and MGH talks about this all the time, and that's why you have males who are friends longer than women are friends with women. Because with men, we don't really look at friendship as you need to do X, Y, and Z for me. To be honest, we just look, are you a loyal ass nigga? Like, are you down for me? Are you actually my homeboy? Or do you mean me well? With women, and I hate to say this, you really won't have too many women who are CEOs of companies that will have a homegirl who's a nurse at a lower tier hospital or maybe a PCT or a teacher. With men, you see this in movies, books, and you see this in real life. You will see a man who's a cop, a man who's a teacher, a man who's a farmer is making 100,000 a year, and another man who's a business owner who's making 200,000 a year, and you will see them all go out of town together or on a trip. You will see men who make 35,000 a year, all the way up to 150,000 a year, and you'll see them all in the same room, Rose, and they all would be chilling and having a good time because our friendship is not based off of are we all in the same status. It's more so based off of, hey man, this is my partner. I trust him when he's around. I know he's loyal. I can fuck with him. We down for each other. We cool. And if anything, if I can bring my partner up, I'll bring him up with me. Whereas with women, you'll see women leave their homegirls behind because they get a job where they're making $30 an hour and their homegirl still in the retail store making $14 an hour. Even though their homegirl may be loyal, their homegirl may never try their man, their homegirl always give them good advice. They'll be like, oh, I can't, I'm grown. I can't be with her no more because she's still in the same place as she was before. Well, how you know that bitch ain't happy doing what she doing? See, that's another difference between men and women is men will be like, bruh, I don't care that my homeboy is a teacher and he only makes 40 a year. He might be a happy teacher, Rose.
But yeah, and I think I don't think it's that women think that it's you got to be on my status. Women are always in competition. Most of them, I ain't gonna say all of them, but most women are always in competition with other people, and they do that with their friends and their family too. And then when they see a person that's up, they might not even be on top, but when they see a person that's living good and they're just in their space. Because you could be in your space and you might not be making $100,000 a year, but you could just be in your space and you in your peace for every area. They'll try to attack you because they're bitter and they're not in where they want to be in their love life or financially or something. They'll attack. So
that's very true because we talk about all the time about women who will see their homegirls in relationships and have good, loving husbands, and they'll be bitter about that, man.
yeah, so that's where their friendship lacks because they're always trying to be in competition with each other. And some women aren't trying to be in competition. They truly love their friends and their family, but people are users and abusers, and most of the people that are users and abusers are women.
That's a very good point, bro. That's a very good point.
So when you're a user and you're an abuser, and most of those are women, men, it's not most time. you'll get some leeches that'll leech onto you, but usually men aren't really users and abusers.
Yeah, most of the time we gotta get out the mud.
Yeah. So a nigga could be like, oh yeah, I might need some help with this and this and that, but I'm gonna shoot it back to you. And most time a man is gonna shoot it back to you when he say he's gonna shoot it back to you.
Facts. Like he gonna make sure you got it. And a lot of times, bro, man, like if you got real friends and you need $50, your homeboy will be like, yeah, I give it to you, man. Hey, bro, you mind coming over here and doing this for me? Shit. Sometimes your homeboy might even suggest, hey, bro, I need $50, man. But hey, man, I see your grass ain't cut, man. I'll come over there and cut it for you, Rose.
Yeah. So, but women aren't like that. They'll see you working hard and doing this, and they'll leech onto you, like, oh, I can count on her. I'll reach out to her, try to get some money out of her, and I'll do this and this and this and that. But when it comes back to it, you won't do the same thing for her.
Even with trips, bro, you'll see women invite other women on trips because they'll help with financially. A lot of times, men, we don't give a fuck that this man make 150 a year. We don't fuck with him, Rose. So we don't want him in our space. We don't care that he can come on a trip and he can take care of certain things. Because it's like, bro, nah, bro, I don't want to live in the same Airbnb with this nigga. Like, nah, bro, let's just find a way to get the money ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And that's the thing about it. So
that's just for all the people, man, who, you know, be wondering the difference between the friendships or whatever. Like, hey, man, I got tears for all the women that don't have beautiful friendships, man. But speaking of some of these hoes, man, I know we talked about gold diggers like last year, but these two situations came up, and Rose can correct me if I'm wrong. She looks like the same fucking woman to me in both videos. In the first video, she talks about how, hey, how much money should a man bring to the strip club to tip? And she says 5,000, 5 bands. If a man doesn't bring 5 bands to the strip club to tip and throw, he broke.
Yeah, but not with tip and throw like bottles, hookah, all that stuff. Spend $5,000.
Spend $5,000.
Yeah.
And then the same woman, like I said, she looks like the same woman to me.
It was a different chick. They were just both not attractive enough to be talking about these numbers.
So, like I said, I thought it was the same woman. But then a different woman said she was asked how much was she given to ever go on a date with a nigga. And she basically said she was given 10 bands to spend half a day with a nigga. And I guess
it was the whole day.
To spend the day with the nigga. I guess she kind of insinuated that they might have had sex or whatever.
They did.
So, hey man, Rose, man, what's wrong with these hoes?
What's wrong with them? You need to go count your own pocket and don't worry about nobody else's. If somebody take you out somewhere, don't worry how much they spending. You need to have your own money. And like, and for the ugly chick that said, and I ain't gonna say she was ugly. I take it back. You was busted, and ain't nobody spend no $10,000. Ain't nobody gave you $10,000 for a day to spend with you. You was telling a lie. You were telling a bold-faced lie. You a liar. You know what I'm saying? And you was on the Everyday is Friday podcast and you said that lie. You know what I'm saying? They probably found you on the streets of Atlanta and you told a lie. Ain't nobody gave you no $10,000 to spend a whole day with you. Because you was definitely not her. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's wrong with them. Y'all get on these podcasts and y'all get on this internet and y'all spirit these ridiculous numbers. And then women are hearing these numbers and they're thinking like, oh, I look better than her. Oh, I'm built better than her. I can get these numbers too.
Yeah, I should ask for the same thing because I just saw one podcast saying that a nigga gave her 2,000 just for her number.
Yeah, so it's like, no, all these things that you see on the internet and you see on Instagram and TikTok, these are skits. If they're recorded, it's not real. And that's the thing. People are living in a fantasy world. I don't understand why people don't understand. It's fantasy. If it's being recorded with a live video and they're talking ridiculous numbers, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably what?
Too good to be true.
Because it's not true.
Me and MJH was talking about that word fantasy earlier today. And I'm just going to keep it 100. If you feel like a man should spend $5,000 in a strip club and you're a stripper, or you work in the strip club. If you feel like a man should give you money, especially $10K for a day, you a gold digger. And we talked about this months ago, and I have no problem with gold diggers. But I'm tired of us living in an age where women don't want to be called by the title of what they are. If you're a prostitute and you sell your pussy for money, cool, just say that. Say, I'm selling a bit, I'm selling my pussy, I'm trying to make a little bit of money. If you a hoe and you like to fuck all these different niggas, because you just, it just turns you on and you have a high sex drive, just say, hey, I'm a hoe. I have a high sex drive and I need to fuck multiple niggas. And if you a bitch and a nigga need to have money just to talk to you, he needs to have money just to take you on a date. He need to have money just to get your phone number. Man, just keep it 100 then. Just say, I'm a gold digger. I just saw a skit of a woman basically saying, hey, yeah, you can't have my phone number unless you give me $2,000. Bitch, what? Why I gotta pay you for your phone number? Like, why I gotta pay you just for us to have communication? And once again, I don't see nothing wrong with that, but just say straight up, I'm a gold digger. Just say straight up, hey man, I'm a paid 304. I'm out here trying to work. But when niggas call y'all by y'all titles, when a nigga say you a 304, when niggas say you a gold digger, Rose, these hoes get all offended.
Yeah, they do. Not all of them, but not the real 304s.
Yeah, not the real ones, but the fake ones. They get all upset. Bruh, why are you upset? Or when a bitch say, yeah, I need some money from you. Okay, cool. Well, you gonna give me some pussy? Nah, I ain't that kind of girl. Hold up there. So why you asking me for some money then? but like you said, they live in this fantasy world because you see these hoes on social media saying X, Y, and Z. You think that's real. Let me break it to y'all like Rose said. That shit ain't real. A lot of these hoes, all they are doing is one of two things. They trying to push a narrative and create views because they know by saying ridiculous shit like a nigga gave me $10,000 for a day, it's going to get people watching the podcast. Or two, they working. And you probably like, but Tease, what you mean by working? They're marketing themselves. They're trying to make it seem like that this bottle of water is worth $20. So that when they go around town, people be like, yeah, that bottle of water is worth $20. We need to spend $20. Because there's some simple niggas out here that would see these interviews and would DM these hoes and be like, oh, I got money for you. I got this. And they'll go ahead and give them hoes the money or whatever.
They sure would. And it's dumb that they would do that.
And it all falls into the culture, man. And switching to the last topic, man, black culture, man. So Kanye West was doing an interview with what's his name, Big Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Big Boy. And Big Boy asked him, like, man, people think you turn your back on the culture. He said, yeah, man, I turn my back on victimization. I turn my back on us spending all this money on foreigns and clothes, but not trying to invest in ourselves and land. I turn my back on us talking about, hey man, I need to fuck someone else, bitch, and I need to do stuff that's gonna get me in prison, but then turn around and say free my nigga, but I'm promoting him doing stuff that's gonna get him in prison. And then 50 Cent, for those who don't know, he's been promoting his new book, and one of the excerpts in his new book talks about a scene with Jam Master Jay, how we need to, as black people, when we do better, we need to be willing to move into better areas. And that Jam Master Jay stayed in Queens, even though he was making money, Run DMC and them boys pretty much left the area and went to Manhattan. And that led to Jam Master Jay getting killed. And he said other races don't do that. When Chinese people get money, white people get money, they move to the other side of town and get a bigger, better house and a gated community, and they don't feel bad for it. But for some reason, black people feel like when we do that, we feel like we're betraying the culture. Hey, Rose, man, how you feel about both of these comments?
Kanye West is spitting facts. Kanye West, sometimes he's so outrageous that you don't listen to what he's saying, but on this topic right here, he was spitting facts. as far as it comes to 50 Cent, he some things that he said were true, but then some of the things he's talked about in his book, it's like, bro, you don't have even the right to even talk to people about that kind of things. Because he was talking about that how you go on a job interview, you should act like you don't need a job and things like this. There's certain things like to that's kind of real, but 50, how many job interviews have you went on?
It's been a long time.
He probably never been on a job interview in his life. So it's like for you to say to somebody else when they go on the job interview, you're not the person that they be talking about that. You talk about the things that you have been through in your life. Don't talk about hypothetical things that you think that you know. That's the only thing I had a problem with some of the things that 50 said in his book. But what Kanye said is real. Like black people spend most of their money on all these designers, and all these designers are mostly racist. And they spend their money on this stuff, and it's like they're not helping you when it comes down to things. And then the rap industry is pushing this narrative about kill your brother, but then he's like, oh, free my brother too for killing my other brother. No, man. How's that even make any sense at all?
So I know I brought up the word, you brought up fantasy, and I was talking about fantasy too. The problem is in our community, we'll hear these rap lyrics, and me and MJ was talking today, and we'll hear these rap lyrics, and we'll see some of these TV shows and movies, and we don't understand that this is fantasy. Especially for those of us who grow up in impoverished communities, and we see some of this stuff, we feel like this is just an endless cycle or something. Whereas in other communities, like white communities, a white teenager will listen to a 50 Cent song or a Jeezy song, and they won't go in the kitchen and start trying to figure out how to make crack. They'll just think that it's cool or whatever, and they'll still be over here trying to be a doctor or whatever in the future. Black culture is getting to the point where it is destructive because, like what Kanye West said, we spend all this money on all this other dumb shit. Like, why do you need Gucci? Why do you need Louis Vuitton? Why do you need a 2-story house? Why do you need 4, 5 fucking cars? Like, I have no problem with people who have money and they choose to spend it how they want. But the question is, I just want you to ask, why do I need a truck, a sports car, and 2 luxury cars, and I'm a single individual, or it's just me and my wife, and we got 4 of these cars, and they all are very expensive. Why do I need a 6, 8 bedroom house when it's only me and another person who lived in here, and we might only have 1 or 2 kids, and we're gonna have 6 to 8 bedrooms? Like some of this stuff in Black community, it goes all the way back to cribs. Yeah. Like you seeing that people like, hey, got these big ass mansions and shit. People got a fridge full of Cristal, and sometimes we start feeling like we gotta emulate that when that's part of the problem. Is nah, man, be happy with the simple stuff. Be happy with where you at in life. Try to get your money, but don't be spending money on shit that don't matter at the end of the day.
Yes, man.
And then like what 50 Cent was saying, I feel him to an extent. We shouldn't feel bad for growing and moving on. Like you shouldn't feel bad if you're Black and you grew up in the hood and now you live in a neighborhood that's gated and it has a better school district.
That's the American dream.
Yeah, like you shouldn't feel bad for that. Now what I do feel, and he said this in his excerpt, you should be one of the Black people that still want to give back to where you came from, so that people that look like you can get to where you are.
And that's another thing I want to touch about what 50 said on one part of his books, because for 50 to say, because he said that, right, he wants to give back, but then again on another assert he says he doesn't really drink, but yet he has a vodka line, a champagne line, a cognac line, pushing this on who? Black people.
I heard that too, and what you just said, that's true too.
And then it's like he said, I don't really drink. I'll give it to everybody else, but I'm not going to drink it. I'm gonna drink ginger ale, but I'm gonna pour everybody else. I'm gonna pour everybody else liquor, and I'm not gonna drink it. I'm gonna poison everybody else, but I ain't gonna drink it. But you gonna make money off of it. It's like, so how you gonna be saying, oh yeah, we shouldn't be doing this, but then you're one of the people that's pushing it on the people.
That is true too, man. Like you can't be actively destroying the community but then saying that we shouldn't be doing this when you're invested in the destruction of the community. That's almost like basically a black man who invests in the prison system, but then saying, I'm tired of black people getting locked up. But you're investing in the very system that's locking us up. And that's part of the issue with the culture is there's not that unity with black people like it was back during the civil rights movement. Like we don't care about our fellow brother no more. Like I'm be honest with you, Rose. There's a lot of black people that I talk to that would be like, I just care about me and my family. Yeah. I don't care about a random black person down the street. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, back in the day, you would see a mother walking down the street, and if she saw someone that was one of her children's age being harassed, she would intervene. Mm-hmm. Because she felt like this is my community. I want to make sure that the people in my community can prosper and grow, because that 15-year-old that's being harassed today, he could be a 22-year-old tomorrow that could be breaking in my house. So I'd rather invest in him now so that when he's 30 years old and he's having a family, he might knock on my door and be like, hey, Miss Mathers, I just appreciate you when I was 15 doing stupid stuff. Now I got a wife and kids. Like you had stories back then like that.
And that's how I am now. It doesn't. I do that mostly for my brothers and my sisters, but I do it for anybody. Anybody can walk up to me and if I have something to spare, I'm gonna give it to them. Anybody, it could be anybody, and I don't care what you're gonna use it for. I'm just gonna give it to you because that's the kind of person I am, and you can use whatever you want to do it for because that's your business. But we have to start taking care of our community, and I don't do that when I go out to other communities. I only do that in my community in the CSRA. But when I go and visit other towns, no, I ain't giving out no money because that's their community. But in my community, I'm gonna take care of my people.
And man, last thing, man, like what Kanye was saying about the culture, man. The culture is how we treat each other, it's how we act, it's how we perceive things. So as black people, we have to be an active component of changing the culture. It can't just be something that we say, yeah, man, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that. No, you have to actively say, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to educate my brothers and sisters so that we can do better. Because when we build our culture up and we get to the point where we can be, like what Kanye was trying to say, when we stop spending money on foreigns and all these cars and jewelry and big houses, and we start saying, hey, all that money that we spent doing that, let's spend it on land. Let's spend it on property. Let's spend it on owning businesses. Because it's 2023. We should have black-ran schools. We should have black-ran hospitals. We should have black-ran banks. Rose, we should be able to go to a bank tomorrow, be able to get a loan, just like white people do, for a business idea. We should have more opportunities for black businesses in our community that are actually owned by black people. Not funded by white people and it's a black face. No, it's actually owned by black people. We should be able to go to a hospital that's ran by black people. So, those are some of my thoughts, man. So, you got any final thoughts, Rose?
Yeah, the only final thoughts I got is like, man, if you're gonna talk about something, you need to be about it too. And I feel like if you a man of your word and you stand on principle in business, then when somebody else stand on their principle of business, you should understand where they're coming from.
Man, the words of Drewski, man. A lot of y'all ain't standing on business. Hey, man, the words of Airbnb and Rakim. Peace.
And I'm back quiet.